Since the 2021 launch of Shin Megami Tensei 5, people have been wanting a canon name for the protagonist. In Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne, some people refer to the demi-fiend by the name Naoki Kashima, which comes from the Nocturne drama CD.
なあみんな、ちょっと聞いてくれよ。
あ、どうした直樹?
And the canon name for the Shin Megami Tensei 4 protagonist is Flynn, as revealed in the second Japanese trailer and officially used in the sequel game Shin Megami Tensei 4 Apocalypse.
It's up to all hunters to provide support for Flynn.
Unfortunately, in all the trailers for SMT5, the name Hero or Protagonist is used for Naobino. We also don't have any drama CDs, and the website also refers to him as either Hero or Protagonist. When Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance was announced, I tweeted out that I'm excited to possibly find out what Naobino's canon name would be. Why Vengeance specifically? Because when you start a save file in Japanese on the PC releases of Persona 3, 4 and 5, then change it back to English, the game will automatically assign a fixed name to the protagonist. Makoto Yuki for the male Persona 3 protagonist, Kotone Shiomi for the female Persona 3 protagonist, Yuna Origami for the Persona 4 protagonist, and Rena Mamiya for the Persona 5 protagonist. Back to the tweet I mentioned earlier, I got 2 messages in response. One was, why don't you try this for Nocturne? Which completely slipped my mind. So I booted Nocturne in Japanese, started the new game, named my character, and then changed the language back to English. When I started the game, I wasn't even given a new name. Unfortunately, Naoki Kashima was not used as a default name for the demi-fiend. The other message I got was from my friend. He said that Naobino's default name was already found. When he was messing with some scripts, he launched the game with a different name than he was used to, Kei Amamura. Since this happened a few years ago, he didn't know how to replicate it. I looked up the name Kei Amamura online, but I couldn't find anything regarding that name in SMT5. Until I searched it up on Twitter instead. Turns out that this person also found his name when he launched the game in a debug room. I reached out to him and successfully managed to replicate on how to get the name Kei Amamura. Basically, you want to modify the game and tell it to boot into a map instead of the title screen. This skips the process of loading a save and puts everything in this sort of weird debug state. However, this means that the name Kei Amamura can only appear when modding the game. The Switch version of SMT5 doesn't have Japanese language support, so that means that the name trick I mentioned before doesn't work. So at this point, it was really up to you if you considered the name Kei Amamura canon or not. We just had to wait for the PC version to see if the language trick would work. Fast forward 4 months and Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance is finally out. I have the game on PC, and the first thing I did was launch it in Japanese. I gave myself a name, saved, changed language back to English, and booted up the game again. Unfortunately, I was met with the same screen Nocturne gave me, a default name with the option to rename it. I thought the name Kei Amamura was just completely removed from the game. Until I got another message. His name is actually still in the game. I did the same mod I used for the Nintendo Switch version, which is forcing the game to load a map right at the start. And as you can see, the name Kei Amamura is here again. I also used this mod while launching the game in other languages, and the name Kei Amamura is there in all languages except for Japanese, where it just says Protagonist. While the name Kei Amamura still can be seen or accessed officially, I have seen people consider that his canon name, and I've even seen others use that when starting Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance. So the question is, do you consider the name Kei Amamura canon? Let me know in the comments below, and subscribe for more JRPG content.